Now, the reason you worry so much about everything all the time and you're so anxious about the things that are happening in the world all the time could probably be helped by the fact that you eat just so damn much. Everyone does, right? It's just a thing that we do. A lot of the modern world is centered around eating and about and around consuming things. Especially, doesn't even have to be just food, man. It can be drinking or even consuming content, entertainment, all the damn time, just consuming stuff. And when you're always filling yourself, filling your stomach with food, and filling yourself with all those inflammatory things, especially ultra processed. You guys know the deal, right? You're just wasting so damn much energy digesting all that shit. Anyone that has any experience with fasting can attest to that. You feel this clarity, this sharpness, this surge of just energy that comes out of nowhere. And it doesn't make sense because you hear your whole life, oh, food is for energy, food is the fuel of your body. And then you stop eating, you spend a prolonged period of time not eating, and you actually feel fucking better. Why is that? Because we have a finite amount of energy. It's like you're not like you're not the sun. You're not those like massive, just unending energy. You have a limit. We have a limit. So even though it's a rechargeable limit and is a limit that can be increased, we still have a limit. And if you're just baseline, just wasting and directing your energy to digestion of food, to the digestion of all those different heavy things that you're eating, man, you are wasting your potential. There's no other way of putting it. You are wasting your potential. You're wasting this energy that could be used to create things. Especially us guys, man. A lot of guys just wasting their energy with pornography, for example, and with those kinds of bad habits. That's a waste of energy. That's why you feel relief and relaxed after, because it is you're just releasing all this pent up energy. But the correct thing to do is to use that energy to create something. You will never feel fulfilled, right? Actually fulfilled when you are engaging in something that spends your energy without creating anything. I want you to pay attention to that shit. I want you to pay attention to that. Whenever you do something that spends your energy without creating anything, right? You will feel unfulfilled at the end of it. Whatever you want to think about that. You literally have this creative energy inside of you. You're meant to be doing and putting things in the world, be that an art, be that children, that could be your work, man, whatever you do. But you got to be creating something. And I think a lot of people waste a lot of energy just digesting. And when they are digesting things, think about the good old days. Think about the good old days. When an animal, or when we probably ate a full fucking like mammoth after hunting, you get lethargic, right? You get lethargic, you get slow, you lose your focus, you have to rest. You have to chill. You can't be you can't be paying attention to shit. You can't be always, clear minded, grounded and present. You have to rest. When you rest, your mind is going to ruminate. It's not every time you can just be in a contemplative state of the world, but nowadays with all we don't know how to rest properly. That's a good point. Nowadays we don't even know how to rest properly. So you eat a bunch and then you go to rest. But you're not resting properly because you're consuming shit. You're on your phone. You're watching TikToks. You're on YouTube, like kind of like right now. You're playing video games. You're watching porn. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You are consuming stuff. So you're not even properly resting, right? That contemplative, reflective rest where you're just, maybe even a little bit bored, just enjoying and having a good time. So you're not resting properly, and as you don't rest properly, your mind starts ruminating. You don't let your mind be grounded and present. You start thinking about things. You start looking at the news. You start looking at TikTok. You start seeing the world. People, mom and dad get out of the TV, stop watching the news, it's making you crazy, and then you go back to your phone to watch your favorite political commentator on YouTube that is just stressing the fuck out of you because of whatever the fuck is happening somewhere else. or in your country or whatnot. And then of course you worry too much. You worry too much because you're always with this like lethargic state of low energy and of energy consumption that you're just eating all the damn time. Eating just kind of boosts the whole thing. It's kind of crazy. It's been, for some context, right? It's been more than a year now that I practice one meal a day, like fasting. I call it chill fasting or like hybrid fasting, where I have a fasting is a big part of the way that I eat. And most of my days, I only eat once a day, so my stomach is empty most of the time. I don't have energy dips. I don't have slowness. I'm always like sharp. I'm always, it's been this crazy, crazy freaking experience. But once in a while, I will eat normally. I will have like 3 meals a day. I will and like a few snacks. If I'm visiting family, traveling to visit family. If I'm on vacation, or if sometimes even on a Sunday, like Saturday, Sunday, that I'm just chilling at home, that I feel like tired from the week, just from like working and working out and all the projects that I do and everything that I do in my life. And I just feel like I need to eat a little bit more. Man, I just don't function the way that my mind just don't function the same way. And whenever I start eating a bit too much for a few days, or even eating like junk food or things like that, I can just feel it so clearly of a how much of a toll that I have to pay, that my body just gets, I just feel heavy. I feel heavy. I feel it's kind of like there's something obstructing my thinking, something obstructing my my presence. I'm just not fully here because I'm like, it's kind of like your body is using that to digest food. And I think there's a real link between anxiety and eating. I think that's a conclusion that if you're like a serious person that is actually looking for the truth and studying like health and nutrition and medicine, you can. It's not a crazy link to make, right? It's kind of common sense. What you eat, and a lot of the diseases that we have nowadays can be fixed by the way that you eat, and also by not eating. You guys know all that stuff if you're watching a video about fasting. It's like all the autophagy, ketosis, all those terms of like your body just starts healing itself, consuming its dead cells, and it's kind of like, you know, what's the fucking word for that? It's God damn it! I had breakfast today. That's why I can find the word. So if you're worrying too much, man, you might have to incorporate a little bit of fasting into your day to day. Something else that I was just that I was thinking about is that hunger, right? Hunger and physical discomfort. They are There's no relativization of that. You know what I mean? There's no way to soften it. If you're in pain, you are in pain. You are in reality. There's no subjective experience of that. You're just like in fucking pain, right? If you're working out, you cannot think about it and you cannot worry about anything else that's not the fucking weight going up and down. You cannot worry about anything else besides the fact that you could eat a fucking brick because you're starving. So this discomfort, this physical discomfort of hunger and of pain, it just brings you back to reality. It just makes you not worried about those things. And at the same time, you learn that you are not as fragile as you think you are because damn, I haven't eaten anything in 24 hours and I am not dying. You know what I mean? It's like I feel this hunger, but I'm not going to eat. I am stronger than this. I have self-mastery. I have control over my own desires, my base desires. Food is good, eating is good, nutrition is good, but I am willingly abandoning that for something that's greater, for something that's more elevated than just my basic animalistic desires, right? So you can translate that into all the other bad habits that people usually do. That's why one of the classical antidotes for lust is fasting, because fasting allows you, that's why most religions practice fasting, by the way, because that shows you how not all your base desires have to be answered. You don't have to eat because you're hungry. You don't have to nut because you're feeling horny. You don't have to sleep because you feel sleepy. To drink water because you're thirsty. You don't have to do all those things. Those are desires, right? Even though I will drink water because I am thirsty. Even though those things are good for you if used in the right manner, that doesn't mean that because you have those urges that you have to follow them. And that's a big learning that you have when you start fasting. So that's why I think if you worry too much, you have to start fasting. Like ASAP, brother. ASAP. It doesn't have to be one meal a day. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You can just start by a little bit. It's like skip a meal. You know, get there's probably one meal on your day that you don't really like. For me, at the beginning, it was lunch. So I hated fucking lunch. Why? Because I have to meal prep. I have to take that shit with me to work on a backpack. I have to fucking heat that shit up, and the microwaves at work always fucking suck. And the food gets too like hot on the top and cold at the fucking bottom of the container. So you have to heat it a little bit, mix it up, put it again, heat it again. It's just ridiculous. And then you eat that shit, and there's a limit of how big of a container you can fucking take to work, especially if you're commuting by public transportation like I am. There's a limit of how much food you can put in the container, and it's never fucking enough food. You eat that shit 30 minutes later. Not only you're gonna be tired, unfocused, sleepy because you're digesting that shit, but you're also going to be hungry again. And it's a goddamn shame. So I cut lunch first. Lunch was the first thing to go. Instead of lunch, I have black coffee. And then I did that for a bit. And then I was like, you know what? Breakfast should go as well. And then for the longest time, for like months and months, I would just have like my normal coffee in the morning, milk, honey, coffee every morning. At some point, I was like, you know what? Let me be a little bit more extreme. I'm going to have no calories. I'm going to do this properly. So nowadays, what I do, especially during the weekdays, the weekends I do something different, but on the weekdays, I will have black coffee, water with some like little electrolytes sometimes in the water, and then I have dinner. And then I eat once a day. And that's it. And I feel fantastic. By fasting, you get all those benefits that make you more grounded, make you more present, and make you worry less about things. It's like it's even hard for me. You guys can probably notice if anyone is still here watching this fucking video. You can probably notice. I could keep talking about this. I could keep pulling more and more benefits into the thing, and it just wouldn't end because that's how powerful it is. It is a practice that is. Again, it's not a coincidence that every single serious religion has some sort of fasting. It's not a coincidence, and it's a shame how disconnected with that we are nowadays. Okay, so I'm gonna be heading out. You guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy your spring. Cheers. Mwah.